Throughout my career at the European Space Agency, I passed many significant events in ESA's history. Milestones, first attempts, landmarks. Looking back, they may appear like isolated events, similar to a collection of single dots on a piece of paper. I want to share the knowledge that I gained along with my journey while connecting these dots. My name is Paolo Ferri. Welcome to my masterclass. Communications is fundamental in our job. It's communication on all levels, from the real-time communications in critical mission phases in the control room to passing information across team members, especially for long-duration projects where team members change roles, disappear, get replaced. So this is absolutely important for missions that last a long time. And finally, also across missions, relevant information can be passed, has to be passed, and it has to attract our attention how we implement this communication flow across all parts of a project. EXOSAT was an X-ray telescope, so it was an observatory, and it was run like an observatory. There were a list of planned observations. The mission planners would put them in the right order, and then each scientist would get on a shift pattern an orbit to plan. An orbit was 4 days with a number of observations. Depending on the duration, there could be half a dozen till a bit more observations. The output of the planning was documented in a procedural book. It was basically a list of observations with the time, with the characteristics. And one important point in this planning was that each observation, in case it couldn't be missed because it had to be done at a specific time, or because there was a simultaneous observation from another telescope, those observations that couldn't be missed had an asterisk in this list, in this official output of the mission planning. So we knew that in case, in real time, we had the necessity of changing the plan due to what we still call a target of opportunity. Something that happens, a phone call from an observatory, and a scientist coming in with an idea that asks you to change the plan. For example, skip an observation. Targets of opportunity for an astronomy mission can be of two types. They are, in general, unexpected events, astronomical events. They can be on your source, the one that you're pointing at. Suddenly you see an effect that you want to follow for a longer time. So you want to extend the duration of your observation. Or they can be actually observed by other observatories on a completely different target, different source. And they communicate to you and they ask you, can we do observations in parallel? Because I've seen, for example, a supernova, or I've seen a very unusual behavior of a specific source, and I want an observation also from you. We knew through this asterisk that some observations could not be skipped. So in case of a target of opportunity, we would have to execute it at a different time. The planner, just for convenience, would not only produce this official output in a book, but it would also produce a flip chart with a summary of all the observations. This was very useful because you didn't have to go through the book and find this list of activities. You had it on the flip chart, so it was a convenience thing. But this was duplicating the information which was in the book. On the flip chart, of course, the observations which couldn't be skipped, couldn't be cancelled, were also marked by an asterisk. And one day I happened to be on shift. We received a request for a target of opportunity, and I looked at the flip chart. I saw that the upcoming observation did not have any asterisk, so it was fine to cancel it. And we implemented the target of opportunity. We canceled that observation. The next day the planner came in and he saw what happened on that night, and was desperate because in fact we had skipped one of those forbidden observations, those which were marked with an asterisk. The problem was that they were marked with an asterisk in the book, but not in the flip chart. And on that night I had looked at the flip chart and not at the book. So the confusion was created by duplicating the information. And of course, when you duplicate information, the chances that you make a mistake and you create inconsistent information is very high. So it is essential in our work when we are recording and passing important information, that we don't record it and pass it in two different places, or if it has to be in two different places, the source has to be unique and it has to be ensured that the consistency is guaranteed, perhaps by an automatic process. One example of communication across projects, I lived once in a Venus Express meeting where by chance at the beginning of the meeting some of the mission team members came in and said, well, we have a problem today on our spacecraft. It was not the purpose of the meeting, it was a completely different objective, but there was a problem and they explained it to other team members. And the way they were talking about this problem, which was related to basically both star tracker sensors becoming suddenly blind and not being able to acquire the stars and to track the stars, reminded me of something that had happened a couple of years before on Rosetta. So this was the cause of the problem with Rosetta was a sun storm that had flooded the spacecraft with charged particles, blinding the star trackers. At that time, we had checked if other units in the spacecraft were actually measuring these charged particles or were affected by these charged particles. And in fact, we looked at the error counter in the memory of the onboard computer, and we saw a sudden increase of this error counter simultaneous to the problem with the star tracker. This was the confirmation that the problem was caused by a solar flare. So I asked in this Venus Express meeting the guys, well, why don't you look at the EDAC counter, which was the error counter in the memory of the computer. They just brought up the plot there, and I saw exactly the same shape that I remember from a couple of years before of Rosetta. Good, so it was purely a chance that I was in that meeting. But it was very clear that this experience we had made on Rosetta was fully relevant to the case of Venus Express. It was exactly the same problem. The sun had blinded our star trackers. The lesson from this was that obviously the experience of Rosetta of a couple of years ago had not left the team, and it was actually my responsibility to pass it across the various teams. And in this case we were lucky that we had captured it just by chance, but it has to be passed in a systematic way so that all teams can profit from the experience of one team in case the same problem occurs on other missions.